Hello YouTube, this is Dave of the Garden Warrior and Dave Does Gaming, and I'm here today to bring you a continuation of my PvZ video blog series from my original channel. Without further ado, let's move on to cover a controversial topic among players of the Garden Warfare community. As suggested by the title of this vlog, I'm going to be talking about the most overused characters of Garden Warfare 2 and how to deal with them. To start off, it would seem that PopCap's latest video game, well, you know, Garden Warfare 2, has a bit of a problem when it comes to the balancing of its multiplayer modes. Don't be mistaken if you think that this is going to be an angry rant. It's not. But I must make my frustration and concerns clear when all I see dominating the servers are the same characters that players spam with all the time. Or at least most of the time. Now, here's the list of said characters. But before that, I want to list a few dishonorable mentions of past characters that have been horrifically overused, but are no longer. They are Rose, Pylon Imp, Frozen Citron, Fire Rose, Marine Biologist, Captain Sharkbite, and Toxic P. Kudos to PopCap for the tuning. Now, here's the updated list. This includes Barbecue Corn, Colonel Corn, Chemist, Zoologist, Physicist, Citron, Electro Citron, Tennis Star, Super Brains, Cosmic Brains, Electro Brains, Camo Ranger, Park Ranger, Hot Rod Chomper, Count Chompula, Flyer Chomper, Astronaut, and any Hero Showcase characters of any week. Well, that's all I can think of at any rate. If there are any more you think that are being overused that I didn't mention in my list, please leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know. Seeing all these variants being spammed all the time absolutely infuriates me. And I'm pretty sure that there are many others in the PvZ community who share the same feeling. If you think the game is still broken, keep in mind that it was a lot worse at launch. In my previously mentioned list of dishonorable mentions, Rose was the sole character used by plant players, becoming notoriously overused. Question: why wouldn't they play with anyone else? Answer: because they wanted Vanquishes, of course. Turf Takeover was unplayable for a time. Look everyone, if you want Vanquishes, go do Team Vanquish. And then came Rose's befitting nerf to a support class rather than a full-on assault one. Okay, back on subject. Barbecue Corn, Toxic P, Citron, and Electro Brains continued to dominate the servers afterward, which is part of the reason why I rarely ever played multiplayer in the first few months of the game's lifetime. In fact, the reason why Electro Brains was so overpowered then was that his beam had a glitch where the arc damage would zap multiple plants and do unbelievable damage. The beam, if attacking one target, would normally cause 3 damage per hit, but for the other targets, take that number times 5. That's how players using Electro Brains were getting so many Vanquishes in little time. It's a good thing that he got nerfed too, but he's still one of the most overused characters of the game. During this time, I actually had more fun playing against AI in solo play, a game mode that I fear may be underappreciated. But enough of that. To this day, despite receiving similar nerfs, the 3 big playable characters that have been used abusively are still Barbecue Corn, Citron, and Electro Brains. Then there are the players who use them outside of their roles in long-range attacks. Guys, they aren't meant to be used that way! But of course, my words alone wouldn't be enough to dissuade players who still use them to get tons of Vanquishes, even at the expense of the team and of the goal of any game mode. Minus Team Vanquish, of course. That is, unless you're playing with a healer, and you don't revive or heal anyone! Haha. Oh, as I've said, I don't want to rant, so I better keep my tongue in check. But thankfully enough, Toxic P was nerfed in a summer patch update, putting an end to an oppressive noob regime of one of the most annoyingly overused P shooters in the series. I don't know if you think those 3 former characters are any problem anymore, but to me they are, especially when I play as a Scientist, Sunflower, Rose, or Nymph. One more thing that bothers me about these players is that they never use any other characters, and while it's annoying to see high-ranking players spamming with them, I find it even more annoying that the lower-ranked players still continue playing with said characters. I mean no disrespect when I say that the whole point of this game isn't to only use your favorite PvZ characters, but the truth is that if you want to progress through the game, you have to play with different plants and zombies. I'll fill you in on why. A very good reason is the promotion system. Undoubtedly, most players have already mastered all of those overused plants and zombies. The trick here is when you rank up the underused ones to earn extra coins. With every promotion, you earn 20,000 coins, plenty enough to buy helpful fun packs for wacky, zany customizations, and gestures for entertaining recent Vanquishes, or minions booster packs for summonable AI plants or zombies. But if you want to unlock new characters, be sure to stock up on your coins and buy plenty of wondrous packs of greatness and phenomenal character packs. Who knows? Maybe you'll even get lucky enough to unlock an all-powerful legendary character. Uh-oh. I shouldn't have given you that idea. Oh well. I just wanted to throw it out there. Nothing more to be said about that. If you've come to watch this video looking for a way to counteract them hack-need characters, you're getting some tips from a master. And that's not a boast. Well, maybe it is, but it's also a fact. I've already reached the maximum rank of 5,182, and I've put over 600 hours into the game. And please take note that these tips can work for all multiplayer modes. Tip 1. As a zombie, the best you can do is to use stealth to your advantage. Because Colonel Corn and Citron players usually take to the rooftops, play as a foot soldier, an engineer, or as a super brains and catch them by surprise. But don't let them see you coming. P.S. If you're wondering about the engineer, it's because his big bolt blaster does a lot of damage very quickly. But don't play as a Captain Deadbeard to counteract those overused plants. Despite the fact that he's a sniper specialist, the enemy players will always go after the snipers first. To succeed, you have to get up close and personal to ensure that your enemy goes down. But not too close. Don't use a scientist either, because you have to use him really up close to an enemy to be effective. And Colonel Corn and Citron are more than capable of quickly taking him out if they see you first. So watch out! Tip 2 is that tip 1 can work the same way for the plants. And I'm specifically referring to the counterparts to said zombie classes. But ranged attacks may work better if you're in a defensive position or at height advantage. Try playing as a cactus because her attacks are pretty powerful at any range. But don't let your enemies close distance. If a scientist, and when I say scientist I'm specifically referring to the zoologist and chemist, tries to warp towards you, deploy a potato mine when he gets too close and so you can ruin his day. But time your attacks well. The potato mines have to arm for a few seconds. Pea shooters are also great at wreaking havoc from above, although you should watch out for ZPGs or super ultra balls. Tip 3. Try to vanquish players as fast as you can, or they'll be the least of your problems if others discover your position. If they start swarming you and you are at a disadvantage, it's all over. But don't do anything deliberate like trying to vanquish crowds of plants or zombies in this game. That suicidal stratagem never works unless they don't see you coming. But even surprise attacks can never guarantee success. Tip 4. Citron especially can be a serious pain in the butt, or in the neck, but engineers have the best luck against him because their sonic grenades can disable their defensive shields and counter the EM peaches. And, again, their big bolt blaster can quickly mow down any and all Citrons in the area. You can even shoot down Citron players harassing your teammates from rooftops. Those oranges won't last long because they won't know what hit them. Just don't let them ball up and turbocharge you or you'll get knocked off your turret. Tip 5. Electro Brains is actually quite vulnerable to chompers in close range combat. Chompers have the highest chance of success against this brutal enemy. My favorite tactic is to quietly sneak around to where they're sniping from, goop them to ensure that they don't get away, and then move in for the chomp. But don't let them see you coming. If there is no cover, the best option is for you to burrow and escape or to run up to them while soaking up some damage, goop them, then spikeweed them, and then swallow them. However, that last strategy puts you at a disadvantage if other zombies are nearby. If Electro Brains engages in Turbo Twister, quickly place a spikeweed to stop their movement. If they gain a height advantage, try to put as much distance as you can from them by burrowing away to safety. Take my advice, and you'll do great. I hope. Now, I know that how dealing with these overused characters is open to interpretation, and what I discussed were possible solutions. But in my opinion, based on experience, I believe that if PopCap nerfs these characters again, it still won't discourage players from using them. But there are ways to work around this. Plants must unite. Zombies must work as a team. Focus your efforts on taking the enemy out as a team, and victory can be assured. Unless a mob of Electro Brainses or barbecue corns are all after you and won't stop until either they vanquish you or other players vanquish them first. Or both, who knows. I hope you all found this video to be very helpful and insightful. If you think it was, and if you wish to see my future vlogs, I highly recommend for you to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. You're only one click away from sweet Zomburban awesomeness. Without another word to spare, this is Dave, signing off.